Hello my sweet friends and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a swag. I'm going to be using this yard stake kiss me sign that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. Get excited. It turns out so pretty. I want to get started by putting pipe cleaners on the actual stake part of the actual yard sign. So I want one on each side, so it's going to be a total of 10. And I do space them out around 2 to 2.5 inches apart. This is very tedious work. I'm not going to make you watch it. I'm just going to fast forward through it. And basically, you want 2 on each side of the actual yard stake. Now I'm going to use some extra hot glue on those pipe cleaners. I just don't want them to move. Now I'm going to put that to the side and let it dry, and I'm going to work on my florals. I'm going to push the green leaves all the way up to the top. Thank you, Dollar Tree, because you missed a few of them, but that's okay. We still love you. Anyway, I'm going to trim off all of these roses and put them off to the side. I am going to leave the stems longer because if I want to trim them down, I will have that option. Okay, I'm going to speed this up a little bit because this is more of an intermediate tutorial. I have everything trimmed and off to the side, ready for me. Okay friends, now it's time to work on my bow. I have some leftover Valentine's ribbon from last year and I want to use it up. So I end up making 2 separate bows, but I'm going to start with this first one. I am going to use my Easy Bow Maker to help me out. I'm going to make 4-inch loops and I'm going to twist it and bring it back around, and I'm going to place this first ribbon down into the Easy Bow Maker. So here I made a 4-inch loop. Going in with the second one, I just twist it and bring it back around, make the second loop, and I'm going to twist that down. I'm measuring as I go, make sure they're the same size. Twist again, bring that loop back around, and the advice I have for you when making bows is practice. Practice, practice, practice. Once I have it made in my hand, I am going to place it into the Easy Bow Maker, and it's going to hold it there for me while I work on the second ribbon. So into the Easy Bow Maker it goes. Now I'm going in with the other ribbon and just making a 4-inch loop, crimping it down in the middle, twisting it off, and I'm just going to measure off my loops to make sure they're the same size. And then once I get that done, I'm going to cut it off and place it into the Easy Bow Maker. Making a bow is just loop and twist, and measure as you go. Okay, now that my bow is made, I'm going to go in with a zip tie. I want to make sure I go up underneath all of those loops, bring the zip tie to the middle part of the Easy Bow Maker of the bow. I'm going to start the zip tie off. I'm not going to zip tie it all the way down. I'm going to use the zip tie to pull it out of the Easy Bow Maker, pull the zip tie to the back part of the bow, and now I'm going to add a pipe cleaner before I zip tie it all the way down. I'm going to do this because I need a way to attach it to my project. Now that I have the pipe cleaner in the zip tie, I'm going to pull that down, and with the zip tie and the pipe cleaners, I'm going to use this to hold the bow so that I can fluff up my bow and get the loops and the tails exactly the way I want them. I'm almost using it as like a handle. Just another way to hold onto the bow so I can do what I need to do. Alright, so here I'm just fluffing the bow. They also call this breaking the bow, and I did fast forward this up because I just can't leave well enough alone. Now I'm going to trim up my tails and just put the ribbon on itself and then cut it aslant to create the dovetails. I'm going to trim off that zip tie, get it out of the way. This way I have a way of attaching it to my project. Next, I'm going to cut my deco mesh. So I'm going in with my Fiskars rotary cutter. These things can be very dangerous, so be very careful. I want to start with a fresh cut. I can never cut a straight line, so here I am fixing my problem. Now I'm going to go in with the deco mesh and I'm just going to gather it in my hands, and I'm going to place it in the very first 2 pipe cleaners at the top left. So I'm just going to place it in. I'm not worried about the length or anything like that. I just want to get it into my project. So I get it started by getting it in between those 2 pipe cleaners. I'm going to twist tie this off, and then I'm going to trim up the excess. Again, I'm not too worried about it. And then I'm going to make 8-inch bubbles all the way down one side and then make my way all the way up the other side. So here I'm making my first bubble, and I'm going to place this into the second set of pipe cleaners down from that first one. So I'm just going to go down the one side of the stake, and I'm measuring this out to 8 inches. So it's an 8-inch bubble. Now I'm going to go into the second set of pipe cleaners, and I'm going to twist tie it off. Okay, friends, so this is my first bubble. I've got that secured, and now I'm going to make my way through each and every one of those pipe cleaners and make sure a bubble is in every single one. You can fluff out the deco mesh as you go. I don't find it to be too necessary. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I'm going to go back through with some more deco mesh right down the center of this project, just to make it a little bit more fuller. And then that's when I kind of mess with my deco mesh a little bit. So you see here, you can kind of see the pink stake through that white deco mesh. And I didn't have too much left of the deco mesh onto the roll. And I thought, why not just use it up? So I picked out 3 different sets of pipe cleaners that I'm going to lay these down into. And I'm not measuring this. I'm not being too precise. I'm just going straight down the middle with it. I just want a more fuller effect. And friends, this is what I have so far. Now I'm going to go in with some ribbons. Here I'm just going to trim up. I'm making 12-inch ribbons. I'm just going to cut them into 12-inch pieces. I started off with 5, but I think I ended up with like 7 of each ribbon. And I'm going to dovetail them and get them ready for me. I have this ribbon that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. It's more like fabric though. To be honest, in my opinion, if you were going to make like a sash that said like, you know, queen or princess or whatever, I would actually use this ribbon for that. It's just too flimsy to be like ribbon tails. So I decided I'm going to kind of loop it through the deco mesh. So here I'm going to start at the top. And I did dovetail each end of this ribbon. So I got that secured, and now I'm going to go in with 1 each of each ribbon tail that I have. I'm going to fold that in the middle. Then I'm going to crimp it down and place that into the pipe cleaner with that ribbon. Once I have them in, I'm going to spread out my ribbon tails and continue with the next loop. So I'm just kind of randomly picking where I want this to go. So I took this to like kind of like the middle part of the deco mesh, and now I'm going to do the same. I'm going to pick 2 of my ribbon tails, each of them different, and I'm going to place this down into the pipe cleaner with that other velvety ribbon, and I'm going to twist tie it off and then spread out my ribbon tails. Here I'm going in with the 3rd one, and then I'm going to do the exact same on the other side of this project. This time I did start at the bottom and work my way back up to the top. I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just placing it into some pipe cleaners, taking my 2 ribbon tails, and I'm going to pinch it down in the middle, and then place it down into the pipe cleaners, twist tie it off, and then spread out my ribbon tails. This is where I decided I needed more ribbon tails, so I'm just cutting those up and getting them ready for me. And I did cut them at 12 inches and dovetail them. And they're going back into the project. I noticed a big empty space at the bottom part of this, I guess we'll call it a swag. So I decided that's where my bow is going to go, and then I made another bow to go at the top. So here are my weaving needles. These are perfect for going through deco mesh or grapevines or pretty much anything really. But I have 2 of them, so I'm going to put 1 on each of the pipe cleaners, and I'm going to feed it through the deco mesh till I make my way to the back so I can twist tie it off. So here I'm just feeding it down through the deco mesh, and I'm feeling it in the back with my hand so that I know I make it all the way through. And once I have them both all the way through, I flip it around, and I'm going to use those weaving needles to pull it through, and then I'm going to twist tie it off in the back. This is very easy to do. I picked these weaving needles up, I believe, at the Dollar Tree, and it did come in a set of 2. But you can buy them at any craft store, Walmart. Everyone has them. Now that I have that on, I want to go through and check all of my pipe cleaners. If they're too long, I'm going to trim them up. But what I like to do is kind of roll it down onto itself. I'm kind of showing you right here, and I'm actually going to use that to glue down those roses. So here's another one that I found. I'm going to twist tie it a little bit, and then I'm going to trim it up, and I'm going to roll it down onto itself and just tuck it into that deco mesh. I would like to say that I'm pretty diligent about finding all the pipe cleaners, but I do miss some. And this is what we have so far. So I made a second bow, and I'm going to place that onto the hook part of the top of this project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these pipe cleaners to make a hook. This way I have a way of hanging this project on my door. So I'm just putting the pipe cleaner in. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here, but I'm going to twist tie it to the actual like ribbon, the hanging ribbon. Now I'm going to take the pipe cleaner and twist tie it on itself. So I'm just making a loop, and I'm going to twist tie each end of those pipe cleaners onto itself. And I'm going to use this loop to hang it from my door hanger. Now I'm going to get my glue gun out, and I'm just going to place some glue on the pipe cleaner right here, and I'm going to place my roses randomly all over this door decor. Now here's some of the stems that I left longer because I'm actually going to poke them through the deco mesh. So I add a good bit of glue onto that stem because I need it to adhere to anything it'll grab onto on that deco mesh. And it's been a few days since I made this, and they haven't fallen out, so it's doing its job. Friends, this is my completed project. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. And if you want to, go ahead and hit the like button and the share and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it as it helps grow this small channel. See you in the next one. Bye.